Yes, indeed. Make it 9 in a row for the Edmonton Oilers. A 3-2 overtime win at Little Caesars Arena in Detroit. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Oil Stream Postgame Show right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Tom Gazzola, Matt Kassian at YouTube, Trev, and Zacticum with you. If you don't know who the heck Zacticum is, he's our new practicum student, an up-and-coming broadcaster that we are guiding and helping along the way. We're going to get into this game as the Oilers continue to ride high. A good game, very entertaining, certainly. Excellent goaltending at both ends of the rink from Alex Lyon, of all people, from the Detroit Red Wings, and Calvin Pickard, who picks up his fourth win of the season. And we're going to break it all down with the one and only Matt Kassian, who is back as always. Hit us up in the inbox, 780-218-9999, or get at us in the nasty chat if you're watching on YouTube. And all right, let's bring in Cass and see what he has to say. He's got the old smoker's voice. It's very alluring, if you ask me. Cass, before I go into the scoring summary and the game stats, just your reaction to what we witnessed today in Detroit.
Yeah, a little bit of a slow start for the Oilers. They worked their way into that one again. I was a little concerned coming out of the gate. They didn't seem to have a lot of jump the first really 5 to 10 minutes. But they get a big save in a 2-on-1 from Pickard, and then they're able to settle into that. It's almost like that woke them up a little bit. And then really they took over the game. I mean, they controlled that game. They were the better team. They deserved to win. Just about didn't win. But stick with it. It's one of those ones where you'd call that a gutsy win. Yeah. In the room after that game, you'd say gutsy win. We probably should have had it in regulation. It took us an extra couple minutes. Who cares? They're not in our division. Give them the point. We got our two. We got what we came for.
Yeah, I think a better game overall from the Oilers compared to what we saw in Chicago on Tuesday night. But we're going to get into the deep dive right after we go through the scoring summary and the game stats from this one. No score until the third period. Andrew Kopp, this one, yes, there was goalie interference, but Calvin Pickard, he was outside the crease. I think that's probably why the officials didn't, and that's why it didn't get called back. Kopp is sixth unassisted at 3:34, and then McDavid would have the answer for the Oilers at 9:12, his 16th of the year from Zack Hyman. 16th assist from Hyman, 1-1 at that point. Then speaking of Zack Hyman, scramble in front, and Lyon had no clue where the puck was. Nice play by Ryan Nugent-Hopkins to just get it to Hyman, who buries it. Ekholm banging and crashing in front of the net. What's he doing up there? But you know what? It worked out just fine. Give Hyman 26, give Nugent-Hopkins 27 assists, give Ekholm 13 assists on the season. That goal coming at the 14-minute mark. Then it would be Olli Mata, his second of the year, as he pokes home a rebound after a redirection. I think it went off of Darnell Nurse's skate, and Calvin Pickard didn't know where it was, kind of squibbled through him, and Mata just taps it home. Lucas Raymond and Dylan Larkin the assist. That goal coming at 16:03. Even up at that point, obviously. The Oilers did score with just under 10 seconds left. Evander Kane poked home a loose puck, but it was Derek Ryan who snagged that puck out of midair with his glove. Did not get a touch on it. That's no goal. I was going to say tonight, hey, Evander Kane got on the board. Are we happy? Are we okay with it? We saw him a little bit moonlighting with Draisaitl and Fogle at times in this game. Cass and I will discuss that a little bit as well, but the goal does not count. No dispute there. Honestly, that's a no-no. So this game was off to OT, a little bit of back and forth, and then it was Zack Hyman taking the puck hard to the net like he generally does and creating chaos, and it was, I think it was Lucas Raymond who kind of tried to chip the puck out, and it wound up on the stick of Darnell Nurse, and you had Alex Lyon without his stick, and Nurse shelves it at 1:20 of overtime to give the Oilers the 3-2 to win. 9 in a row, tying a franchise record. It's been done a few times before. Can they break it? Can they extend it? Can they create a new franchise record? We shall see on Saturday. 780-218-9999 is the number to text us. And if you're watching us on YouTube, get in the nasty chat. We want your thoughts on the Oilers' 3-2 victory. All right, Cass, if you're Chris Knobloch, are you looking at that game going, hey, listen, you peppered Alex Lyon with 47 shots. You only gave up 18. You win the faceoff battle 53 to 46%. Power play 0 for 2. PK 3 for 3. Pretty good. Like, are you satisfied as a coaching staff from that one? What do you say after what we witnessed on Tuesday night?
Well, I think you say exactly what I said before, which is great gritty win. It was a great gritty win. It wasn't the prettiest game in the world. You still gave up a couple goals. The second one, a little bit of an unfortunate bounce on it for Detroit to tie it. You did get a little help as well. When you did challenge that, which I understand why you challenge that.
Yeah,
it's coaching, like you're trying there. You're going, well, maybe they do, because he does catch his elbow. Maybe they do call it. If it was all the way in the crease, they probably call that interference.
Yes.
But since he was out, I don't think they do. You take a stab at it, you just about get scored on in that power play, and that could have sunk you. That could have absolutely sunk you. Get a little bit of a lucky break off 2 of the posts.
Yes.
But for the rest of the game, you're looking at it and you're going like, hey, we did a pretty good job here. We had a lot of opportunities, a lot of shots. Their goalie made some saves, but let's be happy with the win. Yeah. Let's be happy with the win. It was a much, much better game, Tommy, than the game that they played against Chicago.
Yeah, and if people are going, hey, this, you got to beat Detroit. Detroit's terrible. They're not good. Well, guess what? They had won 3 games in a row. They went through.
They're just outside of a playoff spot, Tommy.
They're 1 point out of a playoff spot heading into action tonight. And I reminded people of that because, listen, this was not a good Detroit Red Wings team last year or the year before. They are rebuilding. But this year, they're there. They're right there, like you said. And and
they score goals, Tommy. This group scores goals. Like it's a team that just kind of, they work really, really hard and they score goals. It wasn't a pushover game by any sense.
No, and that's why you brought up the depth of the Detroit Red Wings on Game Changers earlier today. Like, they have good players. They have a good team. They've been getting good goaltending from Alex Lyon. That was his 6th, 7th straight start, and he's been good for them. So this is a Red Wings team that's no pushover. They're the best team that they've faced, the Oilers have, in the last week. And good on them for getting the job done. And so scrappy, they stick with it. They had the goal disallowed. No, the replay doesn't go their way, but like Cass alluded to, Pickard was outside the crease. Good on them for challenging, because it was interference. He did knock his glove, but Pickard was outside the crease.
Yeah,
and
which I agree with. Like, I mean, even as an Oilers fan and wanting that goal to be called back, I was like, well, he's outside. Like, it should not be goalie interference. Like, if you're not trying to hit the goalie, like clearly not intending to try to run into the goalie, you're outside of the blue paint and the goalie pushes outside. That's on you as a goalie. So yeah, I thought it was the right decision. Again, it sucks, but it was the right call, I thought.
Cass, when it comes to like attention to detail, execution, getting things going in the offensive zone, like we watched the Oilers on Tuesday night, they got 15 shots on net. Tonight, 47, right? They get 3 goals, 47 shots. What did you notice in regard to just how they attacked the Detroit Red Wings as opposed to maybe how they sat back or were trying to be opportunistic against Chicago? Well,
they weren't cheating. There was less cheating, and I think you see that even in the opportunities that they gave up against Detroit, is they weren't cheating to the offensive side of the puck. And this is the team that for Edmonton, they don't have to cheat. They don't. They have enough skill and enough speed offensively that if they play the right way in their own end, if they try to execute from a breakout standpoint and from a transition standpoint, they generate offensively. And usually they end up with good puck possession numbers and they end up with chances to net. Against Chicago, I want to say they were pure hope plays, but it was just like they just expected that things were going to work. And they were like 3 steps gone before they should have been, which all of a sudden you have longer passes, more opportunities to get passes tipped, and more things go wrong the longer you try to stretch stuff out all the time. And they didn't do that today. Like, I thought they simplified their offensive game today. There weren't a lot of thrown away pucks, Tommy. Like, how many times today did we see them just kind of throw a random puck into the middle of the ice, hoping someone was there to get it? it didn't really happen. I did like their shoot first mentality today. Now, they didn't get overly rewarded for it. It would have been nice to see a little bit more finish on some of the opportunities that they had, but I did like that they were putting the puck to the net, and they were generally not just hope throwing pucks away.
Intentionality, I believe a wise man once, twice, three times told us here on the Oil Stream pre- and post-game show, as well as the pre- and post-game show on our former network as well. That wise man, one Matt Kassian. Thank you very much. Let's go to Bones here. Bones texts in via the inbox, 780-218-9999. Bones says, there's quite a few Oiler teams in the past that would have found a way to lose the last two games. This year's team just keeps working, and Knobloch isn't panicking and going nuclear at the first sign of adversity. Patience is something that has come up. It's something that we've discussed on this station recently. I think Speck wrote about it a couple of times in the past week as well. Just maturation or experiences on the ice, a combination of both. One goes hand in hand with the other. Cass, how would you describe it as we've watched this team develop over the last 4 or 5 years as we've worked together?
Yeah. Well, it's just so bizarre because we look at the start of the season, Tom, and it's like I still don't know what to think of the start of this season.
It's brutal.
Like because you look at what they've done now with really stringing together two just unbelievable winning streaks. And you're like, well, they're finding ways to win in games maybe they wouldn't have before. Certainly in games they lost at the start of the season.
Yes.
They're getting goaltending at opportune times, which are helping them win some of those games, like against Chicago. They got some goaltending today that helped them win this game too, along with the offensive output. So it's so bizarre because it's like, the team we're seeing now is a team we saw down the stretch, which is what we expected to see from the start of the year. Like we expected this team to be one of the best teams in the league. And then they just, came out and just were
soiled themselves.
Garbage. Soiled themselves. Yeah, completely soiled themselves multiple times over and over and over again to where we were like, the season could have been done. Yeah. It could have been done.
Yes.
But then out of nowhere, they wake up. McDavid puts the team on his shoulders a little bit, starts producing offensively, and everyone else just kind of rolls along. And now you're seeing a team that is clicking at a rate and beating most of the teams that they should beat. Now, I still think there's still more to go. Tommy, I want to see them not necessarily dominate some of the better teams in the league, but win convincingly.
Yeah.
Convincingly against some of the better teams in the league, because again, Detroit, I don't think is a pushover. Not at all. But we do want to see them against some of those upper echelon teams have some of those games where they win and where they win convincingly. So there's still a little ways to go here, but I mean I don't know if I'd say it's like, well, you preached patience at the start of the season when they were struggling because you couldn't preach patience at that point. But now you've worked your way into a position where even if let's say you slide and you lose 2-3 games in a row, well, you still have put yourself in such a good position where you're back in the mix, back in the race, and you can preach that patience. So it's just such a complete mentality shift. And I don't know if we'll ever have the answers, Tommy, as to why they were so bad at the start of the year. Like it just is so baffling, because you look at the team now and you're like, yeah, this is a really good hockey team and they're playing really good hockey. It
is a relief, I would say, to see them achieve and accomplish things that we expected them to. The way they do it, the flair for dramatics, the gut wrench that they put through their fan base through is incredible. Honestly, I always say this team and franchise is a total soap opera on ice and skates, and then off the ice as well sometimes. But yeah, Cass, after this win tonight, like we mentioned, 9 in a row, that ties a franchise record. They've only done it a handful of times over the course of almost 45 years of NHL hockey in this city. 22-15-1 has them at 45. That puts them ahead of Nashville, even though they both have 45 points. Edmonton sits wild card 1 as of right now. They are now 3 points back of the Los Angeles Kings.
Which is crazy, because they were, it was not that long ago, they were 9 points back, and I was like, nah, there's no way. But you have this heater going, and LA's struggling. They're not finding ways to win. So it's it just is been baffling in a lot of ways, Tommy.
It really is. 2-4-4 are those Kings in the last 10, 2 OT losses. The Golden Knights, who do play the Bruins tonight, that game gets going right away here. They are 6 points up on Edmonton and have played 3 more games. After tonight, 4 more games, and then the Canucks running away with the Pacific right now. 4-game heater for the Canucks, 7-2-1 in their last 10, and they have 59 points with a 28-11-3 record. And then for those that were thinking, boy, the Red Wings aren't that good, they are 2 points back of Tampa, who won tonight, and are in the hunt for one of those wild card spots as we approach the midway point of the season. Detroit hitting the midway point tonight. All right, let's go into the inbox and the nasty chat. 780-218-9999 is the number to text us. And then if you want to get in on the nasty chat, we will dip into it. YouTube Trev and Zach to come keeping tabs on the nasty chat. Sometimes they giggle at what you guys say, and I can see them giggling. It's adorable. Just 2 young dudes having a good time doing some TV and radio, huh? Oh, boys, look at that. Look at those.
It was Vance Van Vander Van or whatever his
No, I can't read what he said earlier.
No, but that's what we're giggling at.
Mm-hmm. I'm not surprised. Dirty Curdy texts us, says, Zack Hyman, this man scores a huge goal and creates the winner by driving to the blue paint. Get that man to the All-Star game. 9 is mighty fine from Dirty Curdy. Corn Chip Gunch says, finding ways to win all sorts of ways. Dubs on dubs. That one coming in with all caps. And then Norman a Combine says, hi, Tom. Good game. Such a sad day. Hope you're good. John and Robin were excellent people. That's from Norm. And tell Matt to get well soon, from Norm in a Combine. And yes, very sad day in Edmonton, especially in the sporting world. We lost 2 stalwarts in the media side of things in John Short and Robin Brownlee. We have to acknowledge that. Absolutely. Big thank you to Dave Jameson, who hopped on earlier with us on the pregame along with Matthew Owanek. Cass, we're going to talk about Hyman, but, I mean, you've known the Eskimos for a long time. Your dad has been chappy for them for 2 decades. Now the Elks, obviously. You read, you listened, you're a kid from Edmonton. Maybe your thoughts on Robin Brownlee and John Short, and then let's get into Zack Hyman after that.
Yeah, well, I mean, it sucks, Tom. It sucks. I mean, and you know, for John, obviously, just an absolute legend in the city, and growing up and reading and listening and knowing of, it's just it was a pleasure to have had the opportunity to listen to him and just be a part of that media world. And for Brownlee, I mean, I've known him really ever since I've been back in Edmonton and involved over at 1260 when there was a 1260 with him there, and with Jason and just being around the rink and around the media. You know, I've got to know him a decent amount too. So it's just a hard day, a sad day. Both of them, I think, are leaving behind just a wonderful legacy with their families, and a wonderful legacy with just the men that they were. So it's a sad day with that, Tommy. So I feel for the families. My deepest condolences to both of them. They will be very, very much missed, and very well remembered.
Yeah, well said, Cass, as always. All right. On a much lighter note, Zack Hyman, you know, we're seeing people say, get that man to the All-Star game. We saw Dirty Curdy calling him Zack Hyman. Incredible. As he gets older, when he's supposed to be starting to get worse and depreciating, he seems to be finding a new level year by year as a member of the Oilers. What can you say about what he's doing right now, Cass?
Yeah, well, it's just that... I mean, like that play where he drives a puck to the net, that's Zack Hyman. Like, if you want to sum him up as a player, it's that, where it's just like, no, he's going to take the puck, he's going to drive it hard to the net, make a powerful, aggressive move, and take it to the paint. Yeah, I mean, it's you never know sometimes with guys as they get older if they're going to be able to play the same way that they need to, and he's certainly physically, fortunately, has been healthy enough to be able to continue to do it, and he just plays that gritty, simple game. Like, he doesn't play fancy. He does not play fancy, but he plays hard, and he works, and he works, and he works, and he goes to the hard areas of the ice, and he takes the puck there with him. And there's times he takes some abuse for it, and there's times he gets rewarded for it. So yeah, I mean, does he deserve to be in the All-Star game? 100%. Yeah, 100% this year he does. So yeah, it's you know, what a piece. In addition, he has been for this group, where, you know, I think all of us, or there's a lot of people, we all looked at that contract when he signed it. We're kind of like, oh, well, maybe maybe it's okay for a year or two, and then we'll see down the stretch. But I mean, it just looks better and better. He's been just he's irreplaceable right now, really, for this group in that top six.
Fat Dan says, "Is that Renee doing the post game with you, Tommy?" Hi, I'm Renee. No, it's Matty Kassian, but great reference.
Pretty close. Yeah.
I love it. Cass, I'm just going to throw this at you. The disallowed goal that Kane scored, nobody's going to dispute that. Ryan did, great play, good hustle to knock it down, bring it down, and just couldn't get a stick on it or anything like that. Kane comes in, pokes it home. The fact Derek Ryan's out there in the last 30 seconds of the game, Evander Kane's put out there in the last dying seconds of the game, and they do score, obviously doesn't count. What does that tell you? And then that we saw Evander Kane with Fogle and Draisaitl for a bit of that game, and McLeod back at center. Cass, any indicators, or how would you interpret that?
Well, I think it's Knobloch trying to get Kane going and trying to give him some opportunity and reward him a little bit. I'm sure he hasn't been thrilled that he hasn't been getting a ton of minutes, but he hasn't, quite frankly, deserved to be on the second line with his play. But he's an important part of this group. He's an important part of this team and a player that you want going. So, yeah, I mean, hey, you throw the guy a cookie. You put him out there late in the game and say, hey, I trust you. I trust what you're going to do. Go get the job done. And he just about does it. I mean, unfortunate, Ryan gets a tiny little piece of that at all, and it's a goal.
Yep.
Now to the rule book, it was a hand pass. That's a no goal. That's the right call. No dispute on that. But still just to have them out there and to get that opportunity. I mean, it's good. And the player ultimately doesn't get rewarded for it, but emotionally you get a little bit rewarded for it. And the team still ends up winning. So you get to feel like you're a part of it and you contribute and contribute in a key time. So I like that decision. He obviously felt he was playing well enough to put him out there and Ryan as well. And we talked about it before the game, Tommy. You want to have a group, especially against a Red Wings team that plays with some decent depth.
Yes.
Where your bottom guys are contributing and being involved too. And hey, they were on the ice at the end of the game in a crucial moment. And that's, a good thing to see from this group.
Couple of texts via the nasty chat dipping in there. Finally, looks like it's humming along nicely. Reaper says DR impresses consistently. There's a reason why he has a lot of admiration from his teammates and the coaching staff. Good point, Reaper. Nicely said. Andrew says, the games for the last 3 weeks, I would put in Gagne. Gagne's been a bit nicked up, and that's what's kept him out, Andrew E. We'll see if he's good to go soon. James says, does Kane deserve to play with Connor Brown, though? Cass, what would you say to that? I kept saying Connor Brown kind of jokingly to the guys as we were watching the game, thinking that he was going to score. He had a couple chances, whatever.
He had a couple chances. Yeah, oh, Tommy, we need to be praying for that boy.
I kept yelling, Connor Brown!
No, he needs to find a way to get one here. Yeah, I mean, where are you going to fit Connor Brown? Like, that's the question. And if you have McLeod, who's playing really well in the wing, and Fogle, and guys that are playing well with Draisaitl on that second line, well, you have to slot him in somewhere. And Brown is a next guy up that's going to fit with Evander Kane that you're going to try to have working. But I mean, yeah, Brown's a dead weight right now.
Yeah,
right? Like you can't.
Yep.
He's a dead weight. He kind of crushes you offensively. Doesn't do much right now. Yep. Which is tough. Which is again where it's good to see Kane get rewarded with some minutes with Draisaitl, even if it's not all the minutes. It's some of the minutes, some opportunity. Trying to work him in just to keep him inspired and enthused and involved.
Yeah. Okay, let's get to a couple more nasty.
And you're not sitting Brown.
Yeah,
or you're not sitting Kane.
Yeah, not sitting Kane. And then I thought you were saying you're not sitting Brown. I'm like, whoa. Because we've had a few texts come in that say you sit Brown. It's like, well, I understand that. Like if Gagne.
No, that I understand.
Yeah,
no, not sit Kane. No, Kane's not sitting. No,
that we can agree with certainly. 780-218-9999. Tom Gazzola Matt Kassian makes his triumphant return to the pre and post game show. Great to have him back. He's got that raspy voice going, but it's coming back. And then we've got YouTube Trev, sorry, Trev, and Zach to come here in studio with us. And I got a couple of texts I want to get to before we continue on. This one says, from Oily Sink, live bet the Oilers win after the first Chicago goal. Knew the Oil wouldn't let me down. Good job, boys. And then Gavin M says, LFG, boys, see you Saturday at the Alumni Bonspiel. And Gavin's over at the Shamrock Curling Club, where they do have 6 o'clocker lager on tap. We will be doing the pre- and post-game show from the Shamrock Curling Club while the Alumni Bonspiel is going on. Cass, will you be on hand?
I'm going to try.
Okay.
No promises yet, but yeah.
All right. We will be there. We're looking forward to it. Gav, thank you for supporting EST. Thanks for watching and listening, and for putting 6 o'clocker lager on tap. One of 4 spots that has it on tap right now. I saw Potts in Fort Sask is done its first 2 or 3 20-liter kegs and is on to 50-liter kegs. Shout out to Potts. Mr. Mike's on 137th and St. Albert Trail has it, as well as Summit Restaurant at Silent Ice Center. And Cass, I think Belzy and I were able to twist the rubber arm of the good folks
Ooh-wee.
at local public eatery downtown Jasper Avenue.
Ooh-wee.
Yeah.
Ooh-wee. Like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
We're with Dean Lowry, and we're like, Dean, I see an Alley Cat tap up there. And then Sonny came by, also one of the managers, and I said, Sonny, you guys have a deal with Alley Cat? And he goes, well, we carry Alley Cat. And I said, how about the 6 o'clocker lager? And he goes, Tom, what is that? And I said, it's something that we came up with the good folks at Alley Cat. It's an EST baby, and it's going down smooth. People are liking it. And he's like, I think we'll bring it. We'll bring it on. That's how you do business. It didn't go that smoothly, but in my mind it did.
It did.
Yeah.
It did.
Yeah,
100%
exactly.
It did, Tom.
Yeah. I think Dean rolled his eyes when I was bringing it up, but mission accomplished. 780-218-9999. Perhaps you're enjoying a 6 o'clocker lager as you watch and or listen to the Oil Stream post-game show. Edmonton, a 3-2 overtime victory. Darnell Nurse gets the job done. Give Edmonton 9 straight victories, aiming for a 10th straight win Saturday, 5 o'clock start in Montreal. That would be a franchise record. This one says, let's go. Nurse gets it done. I don't care what you have to say. Hard-fought win and proud to say 9 in a row. That's from Nerden Punk in DV. P.S. Welcome back, Cass. Cass, you're getting a lot of love today, deservedly so. Coach Mike says officials had the best seat in the house tonight. They got paid to skate around and just watch the game. Regardless, 9-game heater. Let's go. Make Oiler history on Saturday, boys. Coach Mike. Oilers inch closer to Vegas and LA tonight as well. The officials, it's coming up again. I get it. Like, the call on Bouchard, that was bad. I'm just going to say it. That was bad. Outside of that, Cass, like, were they fighting the officials too? I know a lot of people are saying that tonight. We do get a lot of that in the inbox. What would you say?
Yeah, probably both ways. I think Tango was in the nasty chat and said, can I confirm that the reffing's bad across the league? Yeah, confirmed. Yeah, confirmed. Yeah, it wasn't, I didn't think it was horribly one-sided. I just thought it was kind of bland both ways.
Yeah. No, that's a good way to put it. This one from Andrew says, does Kane need to sit for a few days? Seems to not be engaged physically or offensively lately. Cass, we have noted his probably like lack of health to a certain extent, but what would you say to Andrew E?
Well, you're not going to sit him. I don't think, I think what you'll see Knobloch try to do what he did today, which is give him some opportunity. Right, give him some opportunity, and we talked about. I mean, he's playing with Brown. He's not playing with guys in Ryan. Not playing with guys that are overly offensive. Can be tough to get that momentum going, and especially with the amount of minutes that the top lines play. If you're not on the power play, it can be difficult to keep rolling and to keep that momentum rolling. So I think rather than sit him, I mean, you're gonna try to find opportunities for him. Yeah. I think that's the way forward, not to park him in the press box.
James says Knobloch has made changes, though they are just less than other coaches and doing because the Oilers weren't a mature team. I think that goes back to another conversation that tracks back to earlier in the nasty chat. But I wanted to talk about that because Gager said some things about Knobloch while you were on the shelf, Cass, where he's noticing subtle little things now about Knobloch and how he puts guys out, how he's changed some things on the breakout, some subtle little variances from Jay Woodcroft. Now that we've had a healthy sample size of Chris Knoblauch, I think this was game 25 for him, as he improves to 19-6 is his record as the Oilers head coach. What little nuances in his coaching style have you picked up on?
Yeah, there haven't been a ton. I mean, there's still, I don't think there's been that many. There's been no glaring, massive, huge changes, Tommy. It's not like he's blown everything up. I think part of it has been, they've tried to emphasize from a defensive zone exit standpoint, positioning for the wingers and positioning for the centerman to try to generate speed. I think that's the biggest thing. So where you're trying to get your players as far as your set and who's pushing where and who's pushing the pace where to try to exit the zone to push the other defense back. I think you've seen maybe some minor tweaks and adjustments there. I still don't think it's been that much different. Right. I think that the biggest difference has been your actual execution and that they're actually doing what they were supposed to be doing from the start.
Calvin Pickard. The more he does that, the less urgency I think we see here about getting a 1B, right?
Yeah. Well, and you when you want to keep Stuart Skinner to that 50 to 55 game mark, right? You don't want to have him hit 60 games here. So, you need a backup to step in and be reliable. And Pickard he's actually managed to do that. Does it again today, which is good to see. So does it take some of the pressure off management? Well, maybe a little bit. They probably still feel it, a little bit, but does it help? Yeah, it helps. So you're not as panicked or rushed or having to, just jam a button and do something for the sake of doing it to your goaltending.
Honest Hansel via the nasty chat says last two games have, from what I've seen, had way too much refs influencing the game. I was sure McDavid's goal was offside. What did you guys think of that one? Cass, the reason why it wasn't offside, it hit Red Wing skate, did it not? And then,
and went back in.
Then went back in.
So it would have been their own player bringing it in.
Yeah, exactly. This text from Ryan in Saskatchewan, or from Saskatchewan, says the Oilers are only a couple points out of third in the Pacific. Holy expletive. Another one says Oilers win, Kings lose. 22-16 beats 20-18. That comes in from Whitehorse. Oh, great to hear someone from Whitehorse tuning into the post-game show. Another one from Eden says 9 straight wins. After the start by this team, I don't know if anyone would have predicted this stretch, even factoring in the Oil regressing to the mean. Incredible performance by Lyon between the pipes for the Red Wings. And then now Displaced Yukoner says that the Kings and Knights can see the Oil charging. Be afraid. Be very afraid. And then Randy says, Tommy, remind the listeners to get the Oilers Stanley Cup futures bets in if it's not too late. Best team in the NHL, without a doubt. Crazy. Still get them at plus 1,100. The early naysayers that the season was over didn't realize we just needed a new coach, says Randy as he signs off on that one. And then Roland adds, did the Oilers create enough chaos in front of Detroit's net? Is that something, Cass, that was different from the Oilers? Like, there did seem to be a lot of traffic in front of Alex Lyon. Was that deliberate or was it happenstance?
Like that there was a lot of traffic?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, deliberate, and that they're playing better. And when they're playing better, they have bodies around the net.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at Chicago, it was all perimeter. There wasn't a lot of shots. It was trying to pass through everybody and playing too fancy. In a game like tonight, it was no more pucks to the net, bodies to the net. Now, Lyon played really, really well, made some saves and had himself a night. But at the end of the day, you still get enough bodies there to get a couple goals to take it to overtime and end up winning it with a good goal by Darnell Nurse.
What's Vance Van Vander Van saying right now? Because I don't know if I can read any of this anymore, Trev. Are you keeping tabs on this, or Zach to come?
His last comment is totally okay. The one prior, I definitely shouldn't say, but his last one, Mr. Pancakes, I agree, a bad challenge, but in Garlick's defense, with the way things are called, every challenge seems like a crap shoot, so who knows what they'll call back.
Okay, good. Vance Van Vander Van. Oh, I knew
we'll take those.
Great add to the nasty chat.
100%.
Yeah, he was just in the inbox before, but he discovered the nasty chat. I think it was Penner's Pancakes who was able to coax him over to the nasty chat, and it's been a boon ever since, let's call it All right, what else do we have? I'm going to go back into the inbox because I feel like I'm missing out on what's going on in the nasty chat. If you are listening, 780-218-9999, or if you're watching, smash that thumbs up button, please, and thank you, and talk amongst yourselves as you tend to do. We love it. Lots of good vibes tonight as the Oilers make it 9 in a row with a 3-2 overtime victory over the Red Wings. Hampton Steve says, I'm impressed with this team's maturity. In previous seasons and early this season, this team would get away from their structure in close games like tonight and would find a way to lose. Now they stick with their structure and they find a way to win. The Wolf Texan says, sure, the officiating was bad, but any Oiler fan had to have seen McDavid trying his best to get a trip call and even Draisaitl holding onto a stick trying to get a hooking call. I think the officiating was pretty even though there were bad calls both ways at one point in the game. Signed, The Wolf. Colorado Rusty says, Lion was unreal tonight. Could have been a blowout. Picks looked a bit shaky. Also, McDavid was definitely onside, but even if McDavid was offside, the puck went off a Red Wing player back into the zone. Great goal. And then Colorado Rusty adds, John Short was on the radio under the covers for a lot of us when we were kids. Yeah, hiding those old radios. I definitely did that back in the day when the parents closed the door and said goodnight. Get the old radio, turn it on, listen to the game, listen to the post-game, fall asleep like an angel. Good point. We all did that for sure. And I'm going to go to Peter here. I love this. Love how people are skirting around swears, and then some people just absolutely drop the swears in the nasty chat. If this one ever loads from Peter. 780-218-9999. Cass, before I get to this text from Peter as it loads up, I'll throw this at you because I don't want to keep you too long. I feel like I've kept you for a while. The Oilers get the Montreal Canadiens on Saturday. It's an arena you loved playing in. You had some success in. It's an arena I loved covering games in. What's it going to take for this team to set a franchise record for 10 straight victories?
Yep, I think you need the same shot-first mentality you had today. Put pucks to the net, get bodies to the net. I don't think Montreal defensively has enough to deal with what you can throw at them right now. So it's keep that simplicity in your game. Keep the pucks to the net. Keep getting bodies there, and you're going to score some, and I think come out on top.
Cass, well done. Fantastic to have you back. Rest that voice up because you sound amazing.
You sound so amazing. Me and Renee going to hang out.
Do you guys know each other? You smell like cigarettes.
Been hanging out with Renee. Yeah, smoking all the darts.
All right, buddy. Get some rest. I'll talk to you on Saturday.
Sounds good.
It is Matt Kassian making his return to the pre- and post-game show. Great to have him back. 780-218-9999. Oilers winners 3-2 in overtime over Detroit. Peter says, thanks for acknowledging the men. Sad day. Love Edmonton. Miss it so much some days. Buzz in Nebraska. Thanks for tuning in Nebraska. Says, thanks for acknowledging the guys as well. And also, Cal says, we want 10. You might get 10 on Saturday, Cal. Naughty Possum says, don't think we have any goalie issues for the time being. More games Pickard can play, improve management. He can be the second string goalie. I think they will be okay. Oh, boy. This text says, Tom, you're starting to look like Carrie Fraser with that hair. How you keep it looking so good from Vinny in Vegas. Or Vinny Vegas. I need a haircut. As YouTube Trev can attest to, I had to call Chantal after the pregame show because apparently I rescheduled my appointment for today instead of tomorrow. And that was like the third time I rescheduled it. I'm in big trouble.
Shame, Tommy.
Yeah, I don't think she even wants to talk to me. Swedish hair cream. That's how you do it, Vinny Vegas. All right, do we have any audio or video to get to yet?
No, it's weird. Last game they were like record setting. It was really, really quick, but no, nothing yet.
Your thoughts on the game, YouTube, Trev? My voice, I feel like I'm starting to sound like Cass and Renee.
It was very entertaining. It was exciting. I guess only in the third period there. But to all you nasties, you should have seen it. Zach was just bouncing off the walls. Tommy was losing his mind. I was trying to keep the boys pretty composed. It was very fun. So, but no, I'm just joking. It was actually reversed. I was losing my mind.
Yeah,
but it was sweet. There was a lot to like in that third period. Just looking at the shots, I mean, they tripled their amount of shots that they got the other night. They wanted this one, and it was sweet. It was a great game. I thoroughly enjoyed this one. I loved it.
You were stressing out.
I was. I said I wasn't going to, but I actually did. I freaked out a lot.
Yeah, you did.
I didn't think. I don't know. I didn't think they were gonna win it there. I don't know. Just didn't seem to get those bounces, but then they finally did. Zack Hyman comes up clutch. Speaking of clutch, Darnell Nurse, like that's huge potential. Damon Bunting player of the game, maybe. So a lot to like about this. People saying Pickard was a little shaky. I don't know. What are your thoughts? I thought he looked pretty good tonight.
I thought he was steady. That Robbie Fabry crossbar, I thought it was in.
Oh yeah.
And I was saying to you guys, I'm like, that's a goal.
Yeah.
Where's the horn?
Yeah. I was waiting for it.
And Pickard got his blocker on it. That was a great save by Pickard. The Mata goal, that's a weird bounce. He's trying to go across, anticipating the pass, goes off a Nurse's skate, gets caught up in his gear, squibbles through, and Mata goes there to poke it home. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. Some people might not like it, but I did think a lot of the opportunities that the Red Wings had, like their looks, I thought they were dangerous.
Yeah.
They missed a lot of nets tonight, too.
They did. Patty Kane to DeBrincat. I mean, we've seen that time and time again. And the Oilers lucked out there. It was a wide open net, and they missed. But, they had their chances. And Pickard with that huge save, that was also really clutch. One thing I didn't like, and it was the power play was pretty bad tonight. They didn't have anything going. No flow. It was very predictable. So that's something they could work on. But still pretty solid. They got the 2 points, Tommy. It's insane. It's a whole transition. Like just looking at it, they were neck and neck with San Jose. And now they almost have doubled their points. Like it's insane, just what they've been able to do the last 2 months. And now they have a chance to make history. That's insane. It's great. I cannot wait.
It seems like every show now people ask this. Today it's Hayden who says, "Trev on camera."
Let's go.
Asking ye shall receive. There he is. Hello, Trev.
Yeah. Hi guys. Hey nasties.
Sweaty. His t-shirt reeks like BO because he was sweating so much.
It was very intense. I'm not even joking. That last little bit, the Kane goal, I was freaking out. I jumped right into the studio. I'm like, let's go, let's get this show going. And then the boys, they calmed me down. They said, oh no, it didn't count, and that was very depressing. So, but they eventually got the work done.
Yeah, nicely done. Hey, good to have you on camera.
Thanks, buddy.
You creating this little following that wants to see you more and more.
I don't know. It's been a great day, Tommy. From the morning show, winning my first ever 1-for-1 scolding hot takes.
Yeah,
I forgot to wear my glove.
Swipes at Dusty.
Yeah, exactly.
I was laughing.
Yeah. A lot of people were. Yeah, that's great. That made me happy. And then just the Oilers dub. It's great. It's sick. It makes up for this terrible weather.
Yeah. Big Dave texts in, Pickard wasn't shaky, but he looked like a guy who was overcoming a bad case of not playing in a zillion games. Good point, Big Dave. And then another text says, Kane should be happy playing down in the lineup and taking advantage. Jasmine says, oh my goodness. The text line is slow today, but it is finally starting to load up. Tommy, no word of lie. My friend and I were driving by Sobeys liquor store, so I grabbed the 6 o'clockers as we were driving. One was damaged and started spraying all over me. We quickly pulled over, and I was forced to drink it so fast. Luckily, just before the game, I guessed. Okay, Jasmine, I hope you weren't driving.
That's unfortunate. Yeah, that's not ideal.
Yeah. This one says, Kassian's got the Riz with the crooked hat, just like the Oilers got the Riz with the slick OT win. Charisma, right? Zach to come, Riz. Are you someone do you dish out a lot of Riz, Sus? What are the other ones? What's the new one for fire? Lit.
It's lit.
Lit. What else? Like, I feel like he's younger than you.
No cap.
No what?
No cap.
What's that? No cap.
No lies.
No cap means you're not lying. Like, that was a great game. No cap. I don't like that one, Tommy. No, I'm just saying it to be informative, but.
Are we just talking in code now?
I don't know.
Oh, boy. This one from High Prairie says, more mad trash talk between me and the boys here in Vancouver. Canucks can suck it. Let's go Oilers. My son plays for Nuge's Burnaby Winter Club on our way to a game versus NSWC. Daryl in Port Moody via High Prairie. Daryl, thank you for tuning in. Best of luck to your boy playing for Nugent Hopkins' Burnaby Winter Club. Get that W tonight. And this one says, sounds like levels are out of whack on YouTube, boys. Trevor is super loud, and Tiny Tom is quiet.
I will work on that. My bad. Sorry, everyone. Before the chat disappears here, I just want to give a quick shout out to Honest Hansel. I've been watching YouTube Trev on his channel, above average, very informative guy. Like and follow. Thank you. I appreciate it. I know your comments. I've seen you on the channel before, so thank you guys. I really appreciate that. Sorry, I just wanted to. That's nice. That's
very nice.
Yeah.
And your YouTube channel is?
Above average.
Above average.
Thanks, bro.
We need to make that a friend of EST.
We're working on it.
Yeah.
I was
progress?
Yeah, I think so.
Good. You work hard on that thing, so it'd be good to see it on our station as well, as it should be, and I think we can make that happen. Bit slapping 1957 says the Oilers, in my opinion, are maturing as a group. They are winning the close games. Someone says that my hair looks like it's from the film Swingers. Yeah, I need a haircut. Badly. All right. Let's go back into the inbox, 780-218-9999. Hit us up. Someone says fuego means fire. Yes, I know that. Just the more I see these young guys, the older I feel. Okay. Let's take a look around the National Hockey League. Trev, you're going to let us know if there is audio and video. Is it starting to come in?
Yeah, I'm grabbing Zack Hyman right now.
Excellent. All right, let's go around the NHL. 13 games on the sked. Tonight, busy night on this cold Thursday in Edmonton. Let's get you up to speed on what happened in all of those games. Carolina, 6-3 winners tonight. That was an expected victory for the Canes. That was over the Ducks. Our internet is really awful tonight. I have to admit, it's really bad. It's finally loading here.
It's like taking a slow boat to China.
Where'd you get that one, old man?
That's my grandma. That's grandma.
Yeah, it's not loading up. I'll get my phone. For Pete's sake. Maybe in the nasty chat it's a little bit better. Grow it out, Tommy. No, I'm not growing it out again. All right. How much longer until we get to some audio and video? 2 minutes. All right. Give the Oilers 9 straight wins, and as they make it happen, Hontario Momes says, Tommy, Nuge was not backing down from Mo, and I'm here for that. Sider thought he could intimidate Daddy Nuge. No chance. And you'll recall, I would assume Daddy Nuge said something like, hey, ask Justin Hall how it went when he fought me last year. Right? Did not go well from Hall. All right, let's get you up to speed on out-of-town scores. Then we're going to get to some audio and video. Zack Hyman will be the first on the docket. Buffalo beats Ottawa 5-3. You get the Canucks over the Penguins 4-3 in OT. Like I mentioned earlier, Carolina 6-3 winners over the Ducks. Florida 3-2 in OT over the LA Kings. San Jose beats the Montreal Canadiens, so the Habs are going to be a little bit feisty on Saturday when they welcome in the Oilers to the Bell Center. You got Tampa beating New Jersey 4-3 in overtime. Seattle continues to roll, a 4-1 victory over the Caps in Washington. The Islanders 4-3 winners over Toronto in OT. St. Louis with a 5-2 victory over the Rangers, that one in St. Louis. And then the Coyotes trail the Calgary Flames 4-2, that one late in the second period, 3 minutes remaining there. And then late in the first period, the last game of the night in the National Hockey League, no score between the Vegas Golden Knights and the Boston Bruins. I did see a text that I wanted to get to in the nasty chat, a couple of them. Penner's Pancakes says Sider is lucky Nuge didn't KO him right on the spot. People talking about Leon Draisaitl. I would say this. We're reading way too much into it. Good job by Spec to get the sit-down one-on-one. Give it some time. Draisaitl, like I said on the hangout earlier today, is not going to say anything to hurt his leverage in the negotiations. And reading into it, all it will do, if you're a hardcore Oiler fan or just a casual Oiler fan, it's going to create stress for you right now. That's what it'll do.
Absolutely.
You give him 14 to 15 million. I said it's simple. Just pay him more than Matthews, and then when it's time for McDavid's contract, you reset the bar in the NHL.
Yeah, no, this guy, he's so happy to be an Oiler. I remember the day they drafted him and the Oilers released on their YouTube channel. It was like a behind-the-scenes footage.
I was there.
Exactly, yeah, you were there. And
ask those questions.
Yeah, how can that, man? That's so cool. Man, I'm so jealous. But yeah, and he's just talking to his dad, Peter Draisaitl, and he's just saying, like, he's talking about, you know, the Messiers, the Gretzkys, and all that, and he was just, before he even laced it up as an Oiler, like, he was just proud. So no, like, I'm not looking into it at all. He loves the city. He loves the guys. Like, you know, they're all so close.
He wants to win. He wants to win with his friends. The business side can change things. You change as you mature. But I think ultimately, give him the money he wants. Put him in a situation he wants with his best friends. Let the rest take care of itself.
Absolutely.
We will overthink this. We will overcomplicate this, and we will debate this until he signs his next contract with the Oilers. Guaranteed. All right, what do we have coming up here for audio and vision?
Yeah, we got Zack Hyman. No goals disallowed for him tonight. He's got 1 goal, so let's hear from him. Zack Hyman.
Lots of stuff happened in the last 7 or 8.
Yeah, just sticking with it, I think. That's the key. Just, I think we've been very process-based over the course of past couple of months since Nauber's been here, where, you know, we're very calm when they score a goal, or it's okay. We'll just keep playing the way we're playing, don't change, and yeah, that was good.
You guys still can't win a challenge for daily life. It's just the ebb and flow of how these things work.
I was just waiting for them to challenge Connor's goal, like, but and then the last one, it wasn't even a challenge. It was a review with, I guess, under a minute. The league reviews it, right? So they reviewed it. They called it no goal on the ice, and then I'm sure they did a 2-second review. And so, I mean, I don't know. It's when they come in bunches, I guess. So.
Zach, it was a pretty special week for you. I mean, obviously you have the Wolverines win on Monday, and then you come back into Michigan, sort of a homecoming, and then delivering a big goal and a big win tonight.
Yeah, I love playing here. It brings back a lot of memories. I love playing at the old building in Joe Louis, and obviously this one's a bit newer. But yeah, anytime I'm back in the state of Michigan, it's always fun. A bunch of former teammates on that team too from college, and yeah, it's fun. It's fun for me.
You guys are finding different ways to win hockey games right now, Zach. What does that say about the versatility in this group?
I just think we're process oriented. Like, I think we just want to do the same thing over and over again, and some nights you're going to win and some nights you're not. But if you can continue to play the way that you know you can play, more times than not you're going to win. And I think that's kind of been the mentality is just be, you know, a hard checking team. I thought today, you know, we limited the chances, and then we were patient. We got our looks, and we scored a couple there, and then obviously got the one in OT.
We know how much Pix is loved in this locker room, so anytime he gets a start, how nice is it to kind of deliver a victory for him?
Sure. I mean, he was a huge part of it too. So he's playing great, just steady. I think everything, you know, all the stopping, all the saves he needs to make, and just steady back there and giving us a chance to win. So he's obviously a very popular guy in the locker room. Guys love him, but he goes out there and he competes, and he's been, you know, unbelievable for us.
What was your view of how Connor's goal unfolded?
I mean, I got a first-hand look at it, obviously, front row seat. There was a battle on the wall. I was kind of like whacking and hacking at it, and then I think the puck hit Raymond's skate and just kind of stood there, and like I felt like everything stopped for a little bit because he was like waiting for me to get out. He's like just sitting there like looking at me like, get out. and then I got out, and then he went, and then I think his wallman thought that it was offside, so he got his hands up, and Connor's like, oh, game on, and obviously did his thing. So just special, obviously. He's a special player.
And as you see him approaching 2 defensemen right in the middle, what do you think as goes through your mind?
I mean, if they're flat-footed, it's a tough play for them. I've seen him do that a lot of times. Obviously in practice, a bunch, and then when you see it in game, it's usually a highlight reel goal. So, yeah, it was awesome.
It's still always impressive for you guys. We only see him come here once a year. So for you guys, that's the norm. Is that the norm, or is it still always as impressive for you guys when you see him play like that?
Yeah, it is, and I think it's just the timing of things too. I think we're down 1-0, and their goalie's playing phenomenal, and we don't have a spark, and he's able to kind of generate that for us, tie the game, and really just create that offense. Right, it's pretty special.
Yeah, pretty special indeed. And what Zack Hyman is doing this season, obviously very special, on pace for a record-breaking year. Personally, for him, 26th goal of the season for Hyman. Played a big role in the Nurse goal, also had the assist on the McDavid goal. On the OT winner, took the puck hard to the net and helped Nurse manage to get that. Well, it was Raymond that was trying to bust up everything in front of Alex Lyon, tried chipping it away, puts it right on Nurse's stick. Nurse has an extra second, buries it. Lyon's stick was somewhere else, and that was all because you had Zack Hyman going hard like a bolt of thunder, I should say, towards the net, and it ended up leading to the game-winning goal. All right, YouTube, Trev, we have one more bit of audio to get to.
Yes, sir. Tonight he got your overtime winner. Here is Darnell Nurse.
Was it of your group's persistence tonight? Because obviously you're coming off a game where you had 15 shots as a collective, had 16 in the first. It took a while to beat Lyon, but you guys eventually did 3 times. Yeah,
I think obviously their goaltender played really well, and it's a tough team to play against, and to come in here in this building and win. It's a good sign for our group, and like you said, there was a lot of persistence to our game. We weren't forcing it. We kind of just stuck with it, and even when things didn't seem to go our way in moments, we didn't get down ourselves, just kept playing.
You seem to really shine in the extra period of hockey. I mean, I don't even know how many overtime goals you have, but what is it about Darnell Nurse and overtime winners?
I'm not sure. I just try to get the right spots. We have some special players that make special plays, and try to capitalize when I get my chance. So tonight was just one of those opportunities of getting to the right spot on the ice and try to hit my shot.
I think I asked you a version of this question the other day, but I'll try it a new way. Your team doesn't have a reputation to win in a lot of 0-0 games after 40 minutes. It's never been the style of this organization. But you guys are winning them now. Mm-hmm. What's that? What's that tell us? What should we think about that?
It's. I think you said it the other day. It's early in the season, right? So you can't have it cemented. But I think for our group, working towards that place where we're comfortable playing in any type of game. Whether you're down 1 or 2 in the third, whether you're tied 0-0. I think the teams that go the furthest and win that ultimate title, they're able to win different ways. And for us, like you said, we've always been able to open up and play an offensive game, but the defensive side is something we've been talking about for years of trying to settle in and just be confident and patient in these type of games, and we've been doing it lately, so we got to continue to do that.
Thank you.
What's your best explanation of how this team has turned things around over the last, several weeks?
Yeah, I think the resilience of the team, the resilience of this group. We came into the season, came into camp with a lot of confidence. Things didn't go our way right off the hop, and easily could have let it continue to snowball. But I think, obviously in this group, there's been a lot of guys that have gone through seasons where we've had highs and very low lows. And at the end of the day, we found ways to dig ourselves out of it and play pretty late in the season. So I think that's just us growing, maturing, continuing to embrace that things aren't always going to go our way. With that said, we got to continue to do that for the rest of the season.
9 straight victories for you, Darnell, and this group. What does that say about this group to tie a franchise mark? I mean, you think of all the players that have come through this organization, and you guys have just tied a franchise mark.
Yeah, it's. It speaks to our group, and like I said, that resilience and that. I think that the care that we have for each other, right? It's not. It hasn't been easy to get to this point. There's been a lot of highs and lows, and there's going to continue to be, a roller coaster of things that go on over the course of the rest of the season. But we've been able to keep it pretty even keel, and to be able to win 9 in a row is pretty special. He said it's cool to tie a franchise record. But with that said, no, we just move on to the next one, try to win one game.
What have been the new perspectives or techniques that Paul Coffey has helped bring to your game as you've worked with him?
Yeah, I mean, he's been great for our group as a whole. I think, he's the first thing he wanted us to do was go back there and make plays. And it's one thing to say it, but showing us, and you get on the bench, he's always got little tips and little areas of the game. Whether you're breaking out the puck, whether you're coming through a neutral zone, where he'll see things that made him so special when he was playing, and just for him to give us those little tidbits on the bench, and us to be able to put it in real time, and then break it down sometimes after games and whatnot. He's been a huge asset, and we're very fortunate to have him as coach.
All right, there's the OT hero, Darnell Nurse, 6th goal of the season, gets the job done, tying a franchise record, 9 straight wins. The Oilers will look to break the franchise record with a 10th straight victory when they take on the Montreal Canadiens on Saturday night, and we'll see how things go in old Montreal. All right, we need to get to some business now. It is time for the Damon Bunting Remax Elite Player of the Game with YouTube Trev. Damon Bunting, consistent top producing realtor in Greater Edmonton and among Remax realtors. He and his team would love to help you find that right home or help you make the move from your current home. Community driven. He understands what it takes to make a difference in our city. Check him out, DamonBunting.com, or visit him on his Instagram page at Damon Bunting Real Estate. YTT as
YTT.
Glue guy Jay Milton calls you YTT.
Yeah, that is
the player of the game, brought to you by Damon Bunting Remax Elite. YTT.
Yeah, absolutely. And we actually just heard from him. Darnell Nurse. Was he the most noticeable player out there tonight? Maybe not. I think Connor McDavid and or Leon Draisaitl probably was, but he was clutch. He was clutch in OT, and that's pretty well the only reason I'm giving him the Damon Bunting Player of the Game. And you know what? Besides this game, he's actually looked pretty solid all season long. I've been pretty happy with his play, and he shut the haters up tonight with that super clutch goal. So, Nurse, let's go. That was huge. They're going to need that, and you've been bringing it all season long, so atta-bee, buddy.
Nicely done. That is the Damon Bunting Remax Elite Player of the Game with YouTube Trev. No, keep yourself on camera, please, and thank you, because this next text that came in is for you. It's from Jordan Wang, who used to go by Peter in our inbox, so we see the history of the text, by the way.
Nice.
It says, tell YouTube Trev, or YTT, that I can send him a deodorizer. Where do I send deodorant for YouTube Trev?
I'll put my address on there. You can just send it to EST headquarters, 10940. Or wait, I don't know if I should say that, but whatever. EST headquarters. Yeah, I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. We've had a lot of visitors. Mostly good.
We have.
Actually, 98.8% good, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I was just joking. You weren't sweating. You don't smell.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah, good job.
I was freaking out when you said that.
I was just busting your chops. All right, the Oilers get the job done. Someone texted in, asked about Corey Perry. My thoughts on that, if the Oilers would be interested. Said, hey, Bob was talking about it today. I'm intrigued by it. I really am. And he would be cheap. I don't know if he's a disruption or not to the locker room. I feel like whichever team might take a flyer on him, he will be on his best behavior. The guy had to meet with Gary Bettman, for crying out loud. So I'm intrigued by it. Do I think it happens, though? I have my doubts. Probably unlikely. But to me, it's like worth taking a look at and considering. And maybe there is a discussion among Oilers hockey ops. Where it goes, I don't know. I didn't ask if they've had that conversation yet or if they're going to. But for me, I'm intrigued by it. And then earlier today, it was Cass and Cass and Gage are talking about Sean Monahan, and maybe he's a good acquisition. He's a centerman, big body, a lot of experience, can score a little bit. To me, that does make more sense, but the Perry thing intrigues me. Where it goes, I don't know. And people were asking, hey, Bob's dropping hints. Stoff knows how to get oil country going. He's brilliant. He's very, very good. Excellent broadcaster, good friend, and he knows how to get people going. It happens.
I like the idea of Corey Perry as well, and not to forget. This wouldn't be the first time that they've been interested in Corey Perry. I think it was 1920. Right? It was not. He ended up going to Dallas, but I'm pretty sure the Oilers were in the sweepstakes to land him, if I remember correctly.
Around a few times. Well, back when you were a young child, in like 2003, when they were trading Mike Comrie, there was a deal in place for Corey Perry, and it involved Mike Comrie giving back some bonus money.
Well, look at that.
Said no to, and I don't blame him.
Right on. Yeah. Well, there you go.
All right, that's going to do it for the Oil Stream postgame show. Nasty chat, keep doing your thing. You guys are hilarious and crazy all at the same time. That's why we love you, and it's become its own thing. To everyone who texted in, thank you as always. We appreciate it. And on a somber day in Edmonton, especially in the sports community, the Edmonton Oilers provide a little bit of light with a 3-2 overtime win, tying a franchise record. And just our condolences to the families of John Short and Robin Brownlee, two pillars in the Edmonton sports broadcasting and media scene. For YouTube, Trev, Matt Kassian, Zach DeCum, I'm Tom Gazzola. Thanking you as always for tuning in, texting in. Smash the thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe. Talk to you tomorrow. Have a great night, everybody.